Well, hello again everybody, welcome back to the fourth part of the building of the wooden mortise cylinder based on the American lock. So we've got the core, the key, the tailpiece, the body. So the next thing is to start thinking about pinning this up. So I've actually marked this up. We have had a change of plan. This is now going to be a 5-pin lock rather than a 6-pin lock, just because it is wood and I don't think things are going to be strong enough, especially once we start drilling into the core here. The spaces will be too close together, so we're going to go for 5 pins and keep our fingers crossed, see if it works. So the next thing is to get this in a vise in the drill press so we can drill the holes in here. The plan is I'm going to get the holes drilled. Once they're all sorted and done, then we'll get the core in, get it clamped into the right position, mark the holes in the core, and then we can drill the holes in the core, because we don't want to go through too far. We just want to go down to the warding, so that will make life easier on the core. So excuse me, I'll get this in the drill press and we'll have a look. Right then, so hopefully, as you can see, the core wouldn't fit into the vise. Jaws weren't deep enough, so I'm using a clamp instead. We've got a scrap piece of wood underneath so we can keep it level because of the lip on here, and we can hold it with the clamp and hopefully get these holes drilled. So let's So there we go. Hopefully we can see that, and that's right the way through. So if you can give me a second, I'll get the rest of these done and then we'll carry on from there. Right, so we now have all the holes drilled in there. So what we're going to do now is insert the core. We can do this by eye. We can just use a straight edge so we can get that core lined up with those pins. Then we'll hold that in place. We've got the drill bit we used with a little drill focus. Try and do this one-handed. We've got that little point on the end of the drill bit. So now we can go down into the holes and mark the core like so. And hopefully we've now got, not quite lined up with my pencil marks, but they were from roughing it out earlier. Come on, focus. As we can see, we've now got those little marks just where we want them. So what we can do next is set the core onto the drill press. We can set the depth so we only come down to that top bit of warding, which is where the pins need to stop. So we'll get that set up next and see if we can get that done. Right, we've had a bit of a disaster, which I shall show you in a minute, but we have the holes drilled in the core. Just instead of pins at the moment, we have the drill bit and it's all locked up. Lift it up and it all works, drops in. So that part of it's all working fine. The problem we do have is if I just whip these screws out quickly. is whilst drilling the holes in the core, that's what happened. Luckily enough, just at the moment it all fits together quite nicely, and once it's in the core with the tailpiece in, it does seem to work. So I will be making a new core for it, but in the meantime, because it does actually work, and just to try and get this up and running, we'll go and do some pins. I'll do a new core later. What I think I will do when I do the core next time is get the solid piece all sized up, drill the holes in there, drill the holes for the warding, and then do the warding after these holes are already drilled, because it was just that small amount of material at the top. I did have it clamped together, but it still managed to crack it. But we'll get on with some pins, make up a few pins for it, get a bit of bitting in the key, and see how it goes. So on to some pins. Right, so as we can see, we've got a nice bit of cherry in here, and cherry got a very nice finish to it, very smooth, which is why I was going to use that for the pins. So I shall get this turned down into a dowel that's the right size to fit in the core, and then we'll start making some pins out of it. Right, so hopefully we can see we've now got this nice thin piece of dowel made out of the cherry, just the right size for pins in there. So the next thing I'm going to do is work out some bitting on the key, then we can get that done and then make some pins. So I'll get sorted out ready for that and we'll have a look. So hopefully we can see I've worked out some bitting on there. So next thing to do will be to cut that out on the bandsaw, or rough it out, a couple of files, and then we'll have a look at the finished key. Right, so here we have some bitting in the key. So that's all smoothed off, so hopefully that should work quite nicely. So the next thing is going to be cut some lengths from this dowel so we can make some key pins and see if we can get this working. Right, so we have the first set of pins all done and they're working. It's not working perfectly at the moment because I'm having to hold the core together, but if we do insert this in the body of the lock all turns, we get it to the right position, the key comes out, and then if we make sure all the key pins are pushed down, like so, the key does go in. If we again get it in the right position and get everything lined up, because I haven't got the tailpiece on. I think I need the tailpiece on really to get that to work, but it has worked. But we'll come back to that in a minute. We'll make some driver pins and then carry on from there. Right, so we've got pins. Luckily enough, I found that multi-lock springs are just the right size, and I've sorted out some grub screws for the top, but unfortunately, because of that split in the core, the pins are just wobbling around too much in the core, so I can't get it to work with everything, but we can just about get it to work with one pin. So as you can see, unlocked, pull the key out, and now we are locked up, not going anywhere, and then gently jiggle the key back in. hopefully. It was a minute ago. Let's just check that pin. Yeah, the pin's tipped. Let's try that. And there we go. So, unlocked, locked, and unlocked. So it does work, but with the damage to the core, it's not going to work at the moment. So, but I know you all wanted to see it sort of working. So it is sort of working. Next thing will be, I shall build a new core for it. I probably won't take you through all that process, because it's probably going to take me a few days to get round to getting that done. So we'll get a new core done, get it all finished off, and then see if we can actually get a fully working wooden lock. So I hope you enjoyed that. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you again soon. Bye.